So as a member of the Glanworth Tidy Towns Group, we were delighted in 2023-2024 to secure funding through the Local Authority Waters Programme. And this enabled us to work with St Patrick's National School in developing an arts project down by our riverbank, which really promotes our natural heritage and biodiversity.
We're on the River Funcheon here in Glanworth. Most recently, actually, I was here last year with a school group, and we were basically showing the kids what was in the river. People see fish jumping, hopping about from the bridge, but to get in amongst them, up to their elbows in a basin in the water with them, it gives them a good idea of what's swimming around here all of the time. It's really reasonably good condition. There are all the typical pressures on a watercourse catchment in Ireland. Not too far behind us is a wastewater treatment plant which deals with all the sewage from an urban area. Then further surrounding us there's agriculture in all directions as far as the eye can see and beyond. And as I say, all the typical pressures.
We're mainly trout fishermen. There are pike, there are a certain amount of salmon, there are some of the roach and daisy here as well, but we're mostly trout fishermen.
The things I can remember is that the river was much cleaner for a start. You haven't the weed that you have done now. There's an awful lot of weed in the river now. But the weed is, I think a lot of it is a runoff coming into the river is, say, from fertiliser and that.
I've fished since I was maybe 4 or 5 years of age. I lived in the village of Glanworth, and every Saturday morning I'd be out into my father's fishing kit and robbing what I could, what he'd allow me to take.
You're still doing that?
Every Saturday morning I'd be down here on the far side of the bridge there, doing my best to catch. I don't think I ever caught much, but you know, you grow up with the love of the river, and even myself and Tom there used to come down in this very part of the river with our jam jars and our little nets, catching kellies, we used to call them, or minnows, and there are several varieties of small fish in the river as well.
I've been working with the children to make some signs for the river there, the Funcheon River, and to really highlight the biodiversity in the area, and to show people who take that walk what exactly is around them under their feet and in the water.
When we went on the river walk, we saw swans, and we came up here to the main kind of part of the river, and there was birds and a lot of animals going around.
Well, first of all, it was lovely and sunny, so we didn't have to worry about any rain or drizzle getting us wet while we had one of the nicest walks I've ever had. And it was just kind of beautiful and peaceful, and it was a lovely day out.
It was just incredible the entire day. We saw sand martins, and we saw a trout in the river, and there was mud skippers everywhere.
It was very scenic, and there was a bunch of animals that I haven't seen before. I don't usually see swans around here, so it's very nice to see that and all the other beautiful animals.
It's fairly rich in biodiversity here. You have a lot of plants as you go further back along. So you've got the trees that would normally grow along a riverbank, or the alder, the willow. You have the poplars, and then you have sycamores and hawthorns and elders and a few other plants dotted around as well. You know, a lot of the area at the moment is left untouched, so there's actually a lot of animal life here. We've seen fox and otters and come across mink tracks, and so you've all the usual life that will be here.
What we're finding is that, yes, many of our rivers now are under pressure from a hell of a lot of different angles, whether it be pollution, habitat destruction, poaching in some areas, and they're more certainly under pressure, and we can't operate without these lads basically. They're the eyes and ears of the river, the angling clubs, and we're grateful to them, of course, but you know, we work hand in hand with these lads, and we try to do our best, of course. As we go forward, we try to deal with all the pressures that are there, but it's an uphill battle, really.
Farmers, in fairness to all the farmers, they never no problems with them. We've always been lucky enough that they've always been on our side. Yeah. So, you know, we're one of the clubs, I suppose, is lucky in the function that we can talk to the farmer. There's never an issue about going in or going out or anything, so you know, so we're just hoping that it keep going the same way, with God's help.
Well, we kind of just all like came together to decide what we were going to paint and like what parts of the river we were going to paint, what things we were going to paint, and we kind of just like came up with all the things around this little walk that we've kind of created.
The first thing we did when we kind of finished up, we came back here and we did some mini art things. We did all different types of things in groups. And then we went back to the classroom and we just did some animals that we had seen around the river before.
This is the mill, and we kind of created this waterfall kind of effect by mixing blue and white together.
I think it's just really cool because it has the bridge and animals and stuff.
I think that the real value in teaching them about their environment, what they have, lets them identify with it, lets them own it. There's no point in telling somebody we need to save the river, end of. That's abstract. But if you let them see the fish and pick them up and tell them why some of the fish aren't as numerous as they used to be or not as big as they used to be, and you know, why is there only one type of fish here? Why aren't there 5 different types of fish? They kind of, it adds up for them. It gives them something tangible to think about in the larger scale, I suppose.
Having an understanding of nature and seeing what's there, and like even to watch the kids on the day we were down and being able to point out specific butterflies to them, and you know, they were fascinated with it themselves. And sure, when the swans flew into the river at the time we were here, and oh my God, they all ran to the edge of the river to watch it. So there just is a magic to nature, and I think if the kids can just get to experience it, it will just grow their appreciation, and definitely with the kids, like they seem to have a love of it.
Well, I think it's very important because maybe when we're older and our kids could be able to see all the beautiful nature here, and it could stand out for maybe their kids to see and so forth in the future.
I think it's important because the river has a lot of animals around it.
I think it's really important to keep it clean and just make all the animals live a happy life.
There is a bit of a biodiversity crisis, and well, it just shows that like if we keep nature up, we can see all this beauty in it and all these animals that are like majestic in their own way. And just it's like kind of just, you don't really want to see pollution in a river. You just want to see a tranquil, peaceful river. So yeah.
So working with Glanworth Tidy Towns, they're really trying to highlight how important it is to take care of our rivers, to appreciate what's there, and to know that everybody has a part to play in looking after the biodiversity and the health of the water. From understanding the wildlife and their conditions, from looking at the plants and taking care of the native species and also the invasive species that are there, to what goes into the rivers, and really sharing that knowledge about how we need to take care of what goes into the water to keep them clean.